Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 95 of What's That Pepper series. Today I have a very exciting episode because I have a really cool cross I want to show you guys. And I happen to have the videos of how I crossed this variety. So I'm going to include that into the description below. So make sure you look there. And I have the F1 currently sitting in my garage overwintering, and this is going to be the F2. So we are going to look at the F2 Linzo cross with my Sangria. I need to come up with a name for that to make it fit the plant and flavor and all that stuff. So that will be coming up in the future. So let's go take a look at the plant. It is in hydroponic. I also have some that are grown. They're actually the same siblings. I grew them at the same time. I took one out to put in hydroponics so I can rush the next generation, and we have red pods right now ready to be harvested. But I also have their siblings that I grew at the same time sitting in my tent right now under some grow light in soil, and they're a little bit slower. So let's go take a look, and then we'll come back and pick up fruit and cut it open and show you, and then we'll try it. Alright guys, here is the pepper plant, and this is my Linzo crossed with a Sangria. And as you can see, there are two pods that are somewhat ready. This one is almost ready, and this one is pretty much ready. But we're going to harvest this, and we're going to try this out. So let's take this to our table, and we'll cut the pepper off and then cut it open and let you see what's inside. Also, I want to show you the siblings of this plant that I grew in soil, because I wanted to make this guy yield pepper quicker and turn red faster, so I moved it into hydroponic. But I actually have two other plants that I grew in soil at the same time. They're a little bit behind, but they also have fruit. So let's go take a look and you will see. Alright guys, here is the other siblings to my hydroponic plant, and look at the difference. There is a huge difference, and that is what you get when you grow plants in larger space. But with hydroponic in small space like this, I was able to rush the plant and force it to produce quickly. And as you see, the leaves are noticeably yellow. It looks a little bit deficient, and that is because I have been a little lazy, so I haven't changed nutrients or rinse out the container at the bottom. And I probably didn't correct the pH for a while, so that is probably the reasons why. Okay, so let's take a look at the siblings, and look how healthy they are. And that is because these two plants have been spoiled. I gave them in the beginning some worm castings, and then I gave it a little bit fertilizer lately. But as of now, it's a little cold in the tent because it's in my garage, so I haven't watered them for a while. So when it's cold, you really don't have to water too much. So anyway, look at these. These are the nice, beautiful fruits that they are producing, but they're way behind the hydroponic sibling. So this would have probably another 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, before this may ripen up and ready for me to harvest. These are just tests. I'm rushing these so that I can get new generations, so I don't really care if they produce too much. And here is the other one. See, got fruit there. But the hydroponic one actually has larger fruits, and that is because I picked off most of the fruits and I only allow a few, because if you allow them to fruit too much, the fruit size are going to be very small. So here is the comparison. You see? Alright, so let's go inside and harvest this one here. Okay guys, so I forgot to show you the F1, and because I actually moved one of the plants inside to save it from the cold, it was still alive. So luckily we have plants to show you of all the generations. So these here are the first generation, which is the F1, and I grew this one here in a small container. You see that? That is just a fountain drinks, and here are the pods right here, looking very nice. It's sitting in my garage right now, and the temperature is pretty warm, so I have the garage door open so that it can get some lights. So that is actually how I keep these plants alive. It's just sitting in my garage like with the rest of them there, and you don't need to provide too much light, just enough for it to stay alive, and it'll make it through the winter. And then once the spring gets here, you can just trim it back and then allow it to start over. Okay, so here is the F1 plants, and the fruits are pretty much consistent. So any of these Thai varieties, when you cross them, they don't change much over the years and over the generations. So let me show you the difference. You see, this one's kind of growing downward, and that one's growing upward. But that is pretty normal, because if you grow multiple plants, I usually recommend people to grow 5 to 10 plants, because the variations are all over the place. So as you can see, this one here is growing downward, and then the one you saw in the tent, which is the sibling, it grew upward, and the prior generations also grow upward. So you see how they're skinny and pretty nice and firm, like a Thai pepper. Very tasty too. I really enjoy the way they taste. And here is the F2, and I'm gonna show you the video that when I first crossed them. So make sure you check in the description so you can follow along and see what I've done to these plants over the few generations of how they've been. So let's go inside and we'll test it out. Alright guys, here is a closer look at the plant with the fruit that I'm going to pick. Actually, one fruit. I'm going to pick that one there, and this one should be ready soon. So a pretty decent size. I think it's very pretty. It changes into multiple colors. So here is the beginning when it's nice and green, and then sometimes you get like a purple tint to it. And then as it matures, it gets into the lighter stage. It becomes lighter, and then it becomes kind of like yellowish with some purple tint, and then it'll slowly ripen up and change a section at a time, and it usually turns kind of yellow and then orange and then red. So it will turn a little redder once it's completely ripe, but this is the stage that I like it the most. So we're gonna pick it, and you can actually save seeds at any stage when it begins to turn this color. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pick this one off. This is why growing in hydroponic is so amazing, because you can just harvest fruits all throughout the year anytime you want it. And man, this thing is nice and firm, and I'm sure it's going to be very crisp and crunchy as well. So let me wash it up, and then we're going to cut it open and take a look inside. Alright guys, here is the pepper all nicely cleaned, and we're going to cut this open and take a look. So I'll zoom in a little bit and show you. And hopefully there are some seeds in here, because I need to grow this to get the next generation. So I'll be careful not to cut the seeds out. Oh, there we are. We have a few seeds. These type of varieties that I bred are usually don't have a lot of seeds, which I really like, because seeds don't taste that good and they have a tough texture. So it has a pretty nice good sized placenta there. It runs all up and down the pepper, and good amount of seeds, not too much, which is cool. So let's smell this real quick. Wow, it has that sweet, nice tropical aroma. Very similar to the very first generation. So I really like eating those. I really enjoy the sweetness and the nice flavor, and it has really good heat. So let's give this a taste. All right, guys, here it is. I cut the pods open, collected all of the seeds, and man, this thing smells really good. Wow, it has that nice tropical sweet aroma with the fume of heat, which I really enjoy. Wow, very pleasant. So if you have ever eaten a sangria before, it has no heat in it. There may be a slight level of sweetness, but it's very slight. So not much of a flavor because it was bred to be an ornamental plant, and it's beautiful. It grows very short, and it produced a bunch of pods that point to the sky, and they're all different colors, which is very pretty. So they're nice for landscaping. And I saw them at a garden one time. We went to a garden, and they're all over the place, and they're just gorgeous. So when I looked at them at the garden, I was like, wow, imagine those beautiful peppers with good flavor and a little heat. So that is the reason why I bred this this variety. And if you watch the breeding video, you will see why I wanted it. I wanted something that is beautiful, ornamental, and tastes great. So that is why this guy came to be. Wow. And so here's the hydro plant. You already saw that. I got a few seeds to grow, so the next generation F3 is going to be coming soon. So let's have a taste of this. This thing is very spicy, so I'll just take a bite. Mmm. Very nice and crunchy. Immediately there's sweetness, and now there's heat. The stinging heat of a Thai pepper. Like a Linzo, the Linzo. So Linzo is a beautiful variety. I mean, it grows enormous. There's one Linzo crossed with a Sangria that I grew, and I did show an update. It is massive. I mean, it grew so big. There were so many pods. I kind of got tired of harvesting because there's so many. Wow, this thing is hot. It's like upper level of the Thai varieties. If you eat in Thai variety, there are many different kinds. Some are average heat, some are a little higher. This is on the higher Thai variety heat, but it has more sweetness. So the sweetness in peppers is a trait that I really love. So I try to breed all my peppers with that hint of sweetness because I enjoy it that much. So anytime I taste a pepper and I see that it's nice and sweet, good flavor, I kind of keep that in my mind to cross that with something else to make a different variety that carry over. What's important to me is how much they produce, how pretty they look, how easy it is to maintain, and of course the taste and the flavor. Whew, wow. Now this is nowhere as hot as my sweet misery, but for people that just enjoy average heat, you're gonna really like this because you get that nice stinging heat, throat burn, great flavor and sweetness. So I can imagine you can use this to cook because it'll bring out some really good flavor in your stir fry. Drying it, yes, definitely. Dry these as pepper powder. I'm salivating. And put it on your spaghetti and pizza. Wow, this is gonna be really good. And here's the plant. Do you see how easy it is to grow these things? And again, they produce a gazillion pods. I mean, I have a plant in a 3-gallon pods, and I harvested like hundreds and hundreds of them. And oh, I don't have it right here, but I'm drying them right now. I mean, I have a bucket full of them. I have so much that when the winter arrived, it was gonna freeze over. I couldn't harvest them all, so half of the plant froze and it's still outside right now. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy that video. This is something I'm very proud of. I really love this variety, and I will be growing a lot of this in the future. And also I will be growing the new generations to see what may come out of this. And I really want this to be an ornamental plant that tastes great. So and also this can grow massive. I mean, it grows massive if you allow it space, and as you can see, it will grow small if you don't give it enough space. Also, like the one that you saw in the soil, it's very nice and compact. So the size of the pot is how big you would determine the size of your plant. So it's very, very hardy, so it grows in any condition. Heat, it produces because in Texas this year it reached like 100-something degrees for many weeks, and this is the one of the variety that did just fine. My super hot drops all the flowers, and but these guys here just produce like throughout the whole season. The more you pick, the more you get. So I can't say enough good things about this this variety. Anyway, that is the Sangria, Linzo crossed with a Sangria. I don't have a proper name yet, and this is an F2, so my seeds will go to F3, and hopefully you will follow along and you will see the later generations coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.